Ross, tell me where you farm and what all you farm.
I'm a farmer from Peoria County, Illinois, and I farm mainly corn and soybeans, and I use cover crops in the off season.
Do you sell those corn and beans somewhere?
Oh yeah, yes, that's how I make my living. Is I raise and grow corn and soybeans, and then I sell them to the
And
market.
and where do they go? At Peoria, you're on the river. That's a great export market.
Yes, mainly the soybeans, especially the corn. Just because I'm in Peoria, there's 3 ethanol plants, so I'm fortunate that a lot of my corn can go locally to the ethanol plants.
But those soybeans are important to get them out into the world somewhere.
Right. Oh yeah, they go down the Illinois River, down the Mississippi, and down to New Orleans, and get exported all over the world.
They're not getting shipped out anymore for a while for some reason.
Well, because our largest consumer of soybeans or buyer is China, and supposedly they have booked zero of our 2025 crop, so our prices have been very depressed. They are working on other markets, but when you lose your #1 customer, it's pretty tough.
And what does that do to your bank account and your view of farming and coming up for another year?
Well, it's tough and getting tougher. Back in 22, 23, and into even 24, we had decent export markets. China was buying some. The prices weren't too bad. But as time has gone, our customers aren't buying as much. Tariffs aren't helping. And that also is, those tariffs and not having free trade is hurting our input costs. Our inputs have gone up actually since 22, and our prices we receive have gone down.
You mentioned inputs, those tariffs, there's a lot of fertilizers that have a tariff on them right now.
Oh yeah, phosphorus and nitrogen have really escalated in the last 8 months. Actually, last 2 years, but in the last 8 months, I just saw a chart this past week from Farm Doc that it just went straight up, like huge on phosphorus and nitrogen. Potash, it's gone up some. At least it's kind of stable, but I've already put on some phosphorus, and I've cut the rate by 50% this fall, where it's my ground that's going to go to soybeans. I harvested my corn last week, and I've already had them spread with cover crops, my phosphorus and potash, and I kept the potash normal because that price wasn't too bad, but phosphorus I cut 50%.
So your costs are up here.
Yeah.
Your prices that you get are down here.
Right. And
there's red in there.
Right. The last 2 years, it started a couple years ago in the red. It's going to be in red this year, and it will get worse for 26, I think, because of input costs have not come down. In the past, when prices come down, the inputs had usually kind of followed, maybe delayed, but followed. But this, it's not. They're actually going up, and our prices keep going down, so the farm economy is getting really bad. And I've been hearing words out there like a farm crisis coming, and maybe if this stays this way for 2 more years, there will be a major farm crisis. It remind me probably back in the 1980s when they had the farm crisis, and we had all the farm bankruptcies and buyouts and things like that.
You told a heart-wrenching story a little while ago about a young farmer that you've been helping for a number of years, and he's not making it right now.
Right. He had to take a full-time off-the-farm job. He was farming full-time, him and his dad, and then he was trying to get in more, and actually the more land he got, the worse it's gotten. So he took this past year a full-time off-farm job. They do let him off for harvest and some of planting, but yeah, he went from full-time farming to off-farm job full-time and plus the farming to make ends meet.
And for someone like you who is probably looking for some easing out in a few years,
right?
You were thinking of somebody like him, and he's not going to be able to ease in at all.
Right. Yeah, it actually probably kind of hurt him, because if you're losing money, the more acres you farm, the more you lose. So yeah, you can't keep farming in the red too many years. We've always farms had up and down cycles, and I've farm through them. I started farming in 1980, which wasn't the best year. That was back when the interest rates were really high and that. But I started out small and, just took it easy, didn't buy a bunch of new equipment, bought mostly used and got by and that. But yeah, this time it's with these high input costs and lower prices, it's a different story.
Final question, what have I not asked that you think is important, that people know, that Congress know, the folks who make decisions in Washington, what should they know?
Well, I think they should know that free trade and the farmers working for the markets is always better than like tariffs and not free trade and living off government payments, because that doesn't seem to help. It seems like if you do it the other way, the farmer's more thinks about things and invent ways to make it. But if it's like, oh, we're not making it, then they give you a big payment, well, then you just spend it on things and the problem doesn't go away. You got to fix the problem, which is markets and the inputs. And like if we keep not having free trade and we want to fight and tariff with countries or customers, that's bad, especially, at least back when I first started farming, we were the only big game in town. Now we have South America, which they outproduce us in soybeans. They have for probably the last 9 years, and every year they're increasing their acres. So our customers, if we get them mad with tariffs or for some reason, and they don't want to buy from us, there's other people out there they'll buy from. And that's what's kind of happening right now. We're losing our good customers to buy our commodities to our competition. We're not the only game. It's a global market anymore, global economy. So you have to have trade with everybody and not get some of your best customers especially mad at you.